I'm back today with another video. I was actually a bit of an internal debate about whether I wanted to make this video or not. Um, there's something that we focus on a lot as economists, and it's called unintended consequences. It's not just an economics term, but that is something that's, you know, a large focus in economics, and it's kind of what I wanted to talk about today with this most recent patch. So this most recent patch, they made a fix to clan boss keys, right? So they've had some server stability issues over the last few months, and people have gotten disconnected and such while they were in the clan boss, and then they lost a key for the day because of it. And the fix that Plarium made was that if you don't finish the clan boss in a particular fight, then it doesn't take a key from you. Which, at the surface, seems like a reasonable fix, but the obvious unintended consequence is you can just force close the game if the clan boss fight is going poorly. Now, obviously, that's something they would have seen, right? That's very easily foreseeable. Plarium knew that this was going to be an effect on the player base before they put it out there, and they clearly decided that the positives outweighed the negatives. But what it does do, and I'll actually just go through and just show you real quick, so that I'm not just talking about it, right? You just start up the clan boss, and once you've gone for a bit and you realize either something's gone wrong or you don't think it's, quite good enough, then all you have to do is go up, force close the app. So if it's on PC, you can just go up and close it this way. If it's on your phone, then just close it however your phone allows you to. But yeah, you hit OK. And then when you come back in, what's going to happen is you're going to have the same amount of keys that you had before. So what that allows is for you to use champions that are a little more inconsistent, right? So, for instance, anyone that's used Frozen Banshee, and I'll pull her up as soon as I get back into the game, but anyone that's used her knows that if her A3 gets resisted, she does a lot less damage. So first of all, let me show you I did get the key back, and I did. Not battle. We're going to go to champions and take a quick look at Frozen Banshee. So basically her entire kit is based around this ability, the poison sensitivity. So it makes it so that poisons deal more damage, and it puts the debuff on for 2 turns with a 3-turn cooldown when it's booked. Which then allows her A1 100% chance to put 2 5% poison, so the big poison, on the target. So that means that if this gets resisted, Frozen Banshee is basically not doing anything for 3 full turns, which is a big deal, right? Like that's a huge damage loss. And that's why when you have her in your team, sometimes you're going to have like a pretty high difference from one day to the next on what your average key damage is. And now that you can, if you see that there's been a couple of resists, you can just close out the clan boss fight and start over. And that means that your clan boss is just going to be more consistent in general. So for me, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of it because it's clearly not what Plarium intended with it. But it does mean that, I know that when it's Void Affinity, I can pretty easily get 6.5 million damage per key, which means that if I get up early enough to use 2 keys, as long as it's Spirit or Magic Affinity, then I'll be able to 4-key Brutal, which is important, right? So being able to 4-key Brutal is a big deal in terms of rewards over having to 3-key it or 2-key it and 2-key hard, and not actually get the full damage on with your 2 keys. But obviously, Frozen Banshee is not the only champion that affects. It means that if you don't have a champion that's the greatest at applying attack down, then it makes it so your runs are more consistent in that regard. So, if we just take a look at Jareg, for instance, so his A1 has a 60% chance of placing decrease attack for 2 turns. Well, that means that, there's going to be times that decrease attack's going to fall off, and you're going to lose to the clan boss a little earlier because of that. Now, this means that if you see it fall off before the clan boss would be attacking, you can go ahead and start the run over if you don't like the amount of damage you've done so far. So it just makes it more consistent on any of your important debuffs. Now, another champion that's basically just for clan boss is a void champion, Bulwark, and this ability becomes even stronger because now you had the chance before that sometimes this just wouldn't proc quite enough and you wouldn't deal enough damage, but now if you get far enough into the clan boss and see that, you didn't have 100% uptime on some of your important buffs, like, say, poison sensitivity from Frozen Banshee, you can start the run over, which makes Bulwark a much stronger champion. Now, obviously, it does mean that it's going to take you more time to use your clan boss keys every day, but as long as that's not something you mind, then the champions that do have a little more variance involved with them actually get better for you, because you can kind of pick and choose the runs where the variance works out in your favor, rather than working against you. So, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of this particular tactic because, obviously this is not what Plarium intended with the fix, but it is what's in the game, and they knew that it was going to happen when it got put into the patch notes and then was pushed to live. So, if that's something that you want to take advantage of, I say go for it. As of recently, I haven't had to do it myself because I've gotten a little bit more accuracy, not quite enough on Frozen Banshee to make a difference, but a few more masteries on some of my other champions, especially Kale getting his accuracy up made it so that Clan Boss has a little bit less variance for me. And the fact that I'm consistently able to 4-key Brutal, and I know that I'm not going to be able to push into Nightmare anytime soon, means that I don't really need to try to use methods like that to try to work variance in my favor. So that's all I had for today. I just wanted to share that with you if you didn't happen to be aware of the unintended consequences of that patch change. Like I said, I do stream every single night except for Fridays, and that's at 7 p.m. when the server resets at twitch.tv/cluelesseconomist. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you later.